Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Zoho Zone podcast, where we talk with Zoho partners about their Zoho implementation and growing their Zoho consultancy. I'm Andrew Simpson with Ether Automation, and today on the podcast, I have Marie-Andree from Cofinia. Marie-Andree, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Now, I would say, not the normal like Zoho consultant kind of thing. You have like a very strong focus on finance. Can you tell me about yourself, your company, your background? How did you get to where you are today?
Yes. So I'm for the funny story, I did my bachelor degree in marketing in Quebec City. And at the time, there was not that many jobs in marketing. And I was working in an engineering firm as an accountant. So I decided to keep on studying and do part-time the course missing to do my CPA. So I became a CPA, but I never worked in a audit firm. So I always been in different companies. So I worked 16 years for an engineering firm, and I had the chance to do all the starting like bookkeeping and then going up to CFO. So after that, I wanted to be an associate there, and because I was not an engineer, was not possible. So I was kind of a little bit sad about that and decided to leave the company and go work at different other smaller company, and didn't work to be an associate there. So in 2016, I said, well, what the heck? I'm going to start Cofinia and do it myself. And so I started in my on my kitchen table, and was the best thing because I was able to go swim in the summer and then work a little bit and start slow. But it came pretty quickly that I was in a business group, and they hired me, and then I started looking for a CRM. I wanted early on to like have the best practices, and I was coming from bigger companies, so I knew the impact of not being well structured. So I wanted to start, to be like the have the good practice. So I looked over and I saw Zoho CRM, and I said, "Oh, that's nice." So I started using it for Cofinia, and then I saw Zoho Books. And so, oh, this is great because I was using like old accounting system for my customer. We were helping. Now I had a person coming in, and we helped for the bookkeeping. So I was not really a fan of old system. And when I saw Zobook, I said, okay, this is really nice. And I tested it for Cofinia, and then I became a partner of Zobooks mainly first. And partner in Quebec, Zoho partner in Quebec saw that I was, doing Zoho Books implementation. So they asked me to partner with them, and then the name Cofinia on the Zoho partner spread. But then over the years, we did expand our expertise with Zoho app. And so now we have Zoho One expertise for CRM, going through Zoho Analytics, people, recruit, everything. So,
Got it.
so it's a little bit of the journey. So we started in 2016. I was, it was me, and now we're 26 in the company.
Wow. That's really good growth. It's funny that you started marketing, then engineering, right? Like very far away from bookkeeping and accounting to kind of get where you are. Crazy world, right? So
Yeah.
you're at 20. What would you say? 20 or 16 employees?
26 employees.
26. I got the two numbers wrong. Okay, so 26 employees. In a few years, right? What caused you to like realize that you need to bring on someone new, someone to kind of manage maybe some of the other people, but like a second in command for the business? Because when you start out, it's just you could do everything, but at a certain point, you need someone else on the team to kind of help manage the ship. What actually led you to that decision?
Well, I had a lot of client, a lot of opportunities. I had people that were doing bookkeeping, and they were focused on that. But I knew that there were other dimension, like the implementation. There's also a part like most of more like a CFO part-time practice that I was able to provide to small companies, and then the bookkeeping side. So at some point if I wanted to grow, I would have to I realized that I needed to have somebody else that could do the same things that I would be doing, because maybe not the entrepreneur side of things, but be able to have an overview of the three line of business that we had at Cofinia. And I worked in my former life with another CPA, and we had a really good fit working together in that previous company. And she was bright, she was young, and we did, work together really well. So I don't know how it happened, but we met her at some point, and she was ready to move at another company. She was looking for something more, and when I talked about being an entrepreneur, she liked it. That and we talked about it, and so when we signed a big contract, a big client, it was the right time, and she came on board. So that was really great, a great timing.
So she had a CPA background, like a finance background, right? And so she never done like a Zoho implementation before, correct?
No,
So
exact.
you wanted to at the time you brought her on with the intention of training her up into Zoho implementations because of the background she had in CPA. Why'd you choose to do it this way versus hiring someone who knew both Zoho implementation and CPA, or just Zoho implementation? Why the decision to train up into Zoho?
Well, back in 2017, there was not much of expertise in Zoho Finance app in Quebec in French. The only other accountant, the other CPA that was doing Zoho Books implementation was in Montreal, and he was so loaded with CPA work that the other partner was telling me, I mean, we don't have anybody, so it's only you. So I said, okay, so it's great. I'm happy about that, but it's not sustainable on the long run. So I thought that having this person like being more in the same field of like me, the same expertise as me, having run department of accounting, I've run done some financial modeling. I've done, even though she didn't do implementation, she knew a lot of the stuff, and she worked with me a few years at the previous company, so she knew me well. So I thought that was a good idea, a good fit for us. And it was for a few years, yes.
So she was with you for a few years, and then I'm guessing she left after that, right? So
Yes.
after this person left, there's usually lessons learned, right? Like, okay, we now know we need to do this, or, we need to have systems in place, or whatever that is. What did you learn after this person left? Like, what was the lessons learned from your first, second in command hire?
So when she left, I think we were about maybe 15 employee, 14, 15 employee. And most of the employee, well, I think all the employee were in the accounting or finance field. So we were pretty all the time like minions. So there was not a lot of diversity in the way we were thinking. And I think that that was the main problem, to have like a second in command that had another kind of view of our lecture of the, look at what we do, the processes and everything, so then can bring a new perspective. So, and that person was more, interested in working for one boss or one enterprise, not working for many. She was not cut cut out for consultation, even though she was doing a great job. But so when I had this, I had met another, and it's funny because they had the same first name. They both were Leah, and the second one, Leah, is still with us. So, but she had another set of expertise. She was not in the accounting or in the finance field. She was more in communication and HR. And she was a strong project manager. So when we talk about, she left the company, and it was a client of mine. So when she left, she went to travel like 2 or 3 months, and I was sending her message on Facebook and say, okay, so what are you doing when you're gonna come back? Would you like to work with me? And this person was already using Zoho People and Zoho Project. So even though she was not in the field, she knew Zoho. So when she said, okay, I want to come in. So, well, it was like this part was the fit that we had, but I saw all the advantage to have somebody like completely different from me. And we were really complementary. So I was more on the vision and the structure, but I didn't have the time to like operate it or, and communicate the change to employee. And she was doing that very well. So I think it's a good team now. We have found the best of the two and how to work together to keep on scaling Cofinia. So this is really really nice.
Yeah. So you're no longer hiring like miniature yous, right? Like people who think like you, with background like you. This person that you hire is able to kind of cover, a number of your blind spots, right? What else do you look for when finding a second in command, right? For someone who maybe hasn't done that yet, what do you think they should look for aside from someone that covers your blind spots?
Well, I think that you have to have the same values. You have to understand the goals where like for me it's me because I'm the owner. But if you have a management team, you have to understand where the company is at. Because first thing, if you don't fit in the values, if you're not a team player, if you're not like if you don't like innovation, if you're different in your views, then you're gonna have a hard time fitting in the company. So that's the first thing. And then what we do when we hire somebody at Cofinia, so we have like this test. Personally, it's not the personality, but the skills test to see what kind of profile they have, what kind of decision making they do. Are they're more of a like more of a decisive person or more of a like a nurturing person and things like that. So I don't know how to translate that in English, but so we understand that how the people is what makes them comfortable, how they operate. And when we try to match our clients, mostly on bookkeeping side, because it's a long-term relationship, but sometimes on the project management side of implementation project as well, we try to find people that fit together. They have a way of thinking the same. So if there's somebody that is more laid back and it's not somebody that is really time sensitive, then we don't put together with somebody that's really well structured and the follow up are like military. They're gonna be a clash. So when you look at, it's not more of we decide to go one way or another, is we trying to find fit and what's needed for the role or for the expertise that we're looking for, and then we try to fit that with our clients' needs and have people work together efficiently.
Got it. So you think values or a cultural fit is probably the most important thing. After covering blind spots, then you match up your team with clients based on like personality kind of thing.
Yeah, we try to make sure that everybody is happy in working together, because if the people are not kind of in the same pattern of working, it's gonna make some frictions and it's not happy. It's not it's not fun to work with clients that you don't fit with. So, and it's
Right.
part of the consulting side. I mean, you have a lot of, even though in a company, it's hard in the HR side of things, it's always the hardest because you don't control that. You don't have control on other people's feelings, on other people's thought, on other people's reaction. But with clients, not even people that you know that well. So if you don't try to, smooth that and understand that and try to make the fit. And we tell that to clients. You say, if you have issues with one of our people, let us know. I mean, it's not personal. It's just like human being human.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So do you still train people up? Like, even though, you look to, have them cover blind spots or there's a good cultural or value fit, are you still training them up from, based on their background to, what you need them to do or behave at the company? Like, is training up still part of your regimen with them?
Oh yes, when we hired, we did in Zoho project, and I don't remember why we did it in project instead of people, because we use Zoho apps for running Cofinia as well. But we did it in Zoho project, so we have an onboarding project and with a lot of tasks. And depending on, is it Marie-Andree, is it Leah, is it the the director of the department who's doing some of the steps. And of course, the person has a lot of information there. So there's kind of a pattern where you have to learn this in the first week, you have to learn that in the second week. And it's we have linked to our Zoho Connect, like it's our manual for the company. And you have their videos, you have there a lot of information graphs to capture a bit more the information when you start in the company. So that's the basic stuff. And then you have like how we do things at Cofinia, because we want to have, it's like I don't know, you have a potato chip plant. I mean, it's not gonna be potato one by one and everybody like make chips like they want. It's like there's this, conveyor and the chain of production. So it's a little bit the way I see it. I mean, we have to work together and work the same way and improve the recipe if we need to, but we have to understand how everybody's going to do their work. So if we need to replace one person because she has to leave for an emergency with their parents or their kids or anything, and we want the business to keep on going, so we have to work out like the same, not exactly the same, but in the same spirit, in the same process, in the same understanding of what makes it a success. So that's something that we really like to make our newcomers understand, that it's not, and we have to fire. I don't know if there's a gentle way, but let go some people that, oh, this is my client. No, it's not your client. It's Cofinia's client. And we can work all together with this client to make sure that he get real good value for what he paid for our services. So it's more of, I think it's more of a really a team spirit that we like to make people understand early on. So if they don't get it, they're not a good fit for our company. So sometimes we have a thorough onboarding process, but sometimes we miss it. So we try to make sure that we improve every time. So we have the right people to work with us in the process and the values and the what we are trying to build.
Got it. So you mentioned this manual, in Connect, right? How do you manage this manual kind of thing? Like, is this something that you sit down and do once a week, or is this something that's open to the team? Do they have dedicated time? Like, how do you like when certain processes change or certain cultural changes, gets documented in there? How does that happen at your company?
Well, there's a few things that it's kind of two separate or two like categories, I must say. When it's more of agile thing that it's small step and it complements like the workbook. It's going to go and everybody's able to implement and improve and with the click and click you have like all these channels, so we could say to other team members, okay, I did that, I think it's the best way, we've discussed it with Leah or with Marie-Andree, and here's the new way of doing things. So these are small parts. But for bigger things, we have meetings with each team, and we have meetings with the management team, and we try to understand and make sure that the change that we are implementing, that we communicate to the employee, and not even just the employee of maybe one line of business or the other, but for all the teams. So we now have like quarterly meetings for the team, and we also have like lunch and learn, and we can schedule them, and we make some improvement. We have a lot of and we invest a lot in the processes that we put in place, and I think we maybe sometimes I look at the numbers and I say, oh my God, maybe we should be more billable, but I think it's something that planning and understanding prior to starting the implementation. I think what makes us maybe stand out on a lot of implementation, because we do a lot of hours on our side to make sure that we're ready, like the football team that goes on the field. They know the playbook, they know how to work and everything, so they hopefully they execute well and they win the game. So that's why a little bit the image I can give you on what we're trying to do.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Right. Very, very helpful. Like if you're running a business, getting these things documented, if you want to bring on that second in command or the new employees, makes a lot of sense. If you want to get a hold of Marie-Andree, you can go to her website. It's confinia.ca. If you're in English, it's confinia.ca/en/contact. If it's in French, you don't need the EN. It's right there. I'll put the link in the description of the episode. Marie-Andree, thank you for being on the show. Very useful information. Really appreciate it.